Honey, do you want to show everyone what you think pants are for? Yeah, you think pants go on your head. Huh. Well, that's a new style. Oh my. I think that's going to catch on real fast. Hey guys, it's Lisa and you're watching mine and Honesty's 11-month update / 12-month update. I'm actually condensing the two because right now it's the 11th of September and I just wanted to get both months. I know obviously I'm not going to have all the updates of month 12 in here, obviously, because it's only a third of the way through the month, but I need a break. I just don't want to have to document. I've been thinking of starting something big, and that is daily vlogging. So starting October 1st, my intentions are to vlog daily, even if it's just for a minute or two, if I didn't get very much footage, just to say, hey, today went okay, today didn't go okay, that sort of thing. And then I'm going to try and upload the following day. We'll see how that goes. No promises, because I'm just not that consistent. But I'm hoping to, so we'll see how things go. I'm going to start out with Honesty's updates, and here goes. Honesty has 3 teeth coming out of the gum line now. She already has 5 teeth that are out fully, but she's got 3 more coming out. 2 on the top, the side incisors beside the central ones. Those 2 are coming out. And then she's also got 3 on the bottom, but she's got the 4th one coming out. It's a side incisor as well. So she'll have 4 up here, 4 down here. She's been teething like crazy, like big time. The first 5 teeth, barely even fussed. Now, whew, these ones were bad. She was crying a lot at night. For when it was bedtime, she would cry at nap time, and she still is. Not as much though, it's kind of subsided, so that's kind of good. In the 12th month, it's starting to slow down, so that must mean they've fully erupted at least, and the pain has lessened. Let's hope for her. In her 11th month, and even sometimes now in the 12th month, she likes to do a downward dog position where she like looks like an ostrich. It's hilarious, but super cute. The food she's eaten, I don't think I remember all of them, but she's had almond flour, almond butter. Both of them she's been fine with. Grapefruit, garlic, onions, totally fine. Havarti cheese, beans, plums, kale, asparagus, turnip, ground beef, cake, homemade pizza. It was actually a fathead pizza crust, which is a low-carb pizza crust made with almond flour and mozzarella cheese, and oh my god, it's so delicious. Anyway, she loved it. She's had spaghetti and she's had chocolate, and no allergy to chocolate, thankfully. So the last time I made a video, month 10, she was taking 3 bottles a day. I was in the midst of phasing out formula and just giving her 2 bottles of homogenized milk a day. So when I tried that, I also made the bottle cold because we were almost at cold temperature anyway. So I was like, oh, might as well just transition her anyways. Oh yeah, so that didn't go so well. Unfortunately, it was coincidental, but the day that I decided to make her milk cold, one, I got extremely frustrated because she refused to take it, and I had like a nervous breakdown big time. I was so upset. I was like raising my voice at her, and I've noticed I can't handle when something changes. But that's the thing about kids and toddlers and babies, and everything changes all the time, and it is so hard for me because I like to choose when I want to change. I'm a ditherer and all, but when I don't get to choose when I'm changing something, it's friggin' frustrating. And she's just a little baby toddler now, But I just, and it's not her fault. And I have to take full responsibility for the fact that I don't like change. And she loves it, obviously, because she changes, on a daily or weekly or monthly basis. And I get used to her being certain ways. Like when she took almost cold milk, or when she was taking homogenized milk, pretty much, except for a little tiny bit of formula. And so now she doesn't take formula milk at all, will not drink it. If we give her it, she'll drink a tiny bit. She went through a phase where she would drink through a sippy cup a little bit. When we went for a walk, my friend and I and her baby, Honesty picked up her sippy cup and drank a whole bunch of water out of it. It was a really hot day though, so she obviously knows when she's thirsty. I know this is controversial, but I don't like to give Honesty snacks or her bottle or whatever instrument she's using to drink out of, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like giving that to her if she's like just playing or sitting on the couch with me, relaxing or whatever, or watching something. I want her to associate eating and drinking with a table or some sort of fashion where she's, it's known that it's meal time. And I don't know, maybe that's too strict or regimented, but that's just how I feel. I love it when families sit together and enjoy meal times. Sure, they can go off and do their own thing other times, but it's just so amazing. I didn't always have that growing up. I'm sitting at a table eating with my family. Actually, most of the time we really didn't. We sat in the living room and such because we lived in a smaller place. But when I started going out with Matt, they did that a lot. And I loved that feeling of just like coming together and eating together, So that's why I like to have friends over and feed them. She wouldn't take a sippy cup. So then we tried giving her a straw cup, and she started taking the straw cup for a couple of weeks. She absolutely loved it. She would drink milk diluted with water and water in it, and then just stopped wanting the milk and didn't really take much water. So we brought her to the doctor because we were wondering if something was wrong. He was like, no, it's perfectly fine just as long as you're feeding her other sources of dairy or calcium and iron and whatever, and we are. And so he's like, it should be fine, but you do need to get some liquids into her, so try juice diluted with water. She's been drinking it, but the problem there is that she's been getting diarrhea like stool. It's not like full-fledged liquid. Honesty's been starting to have bad tantrums where she'll like bang her head on the back of her chair or her crib, and it's usually when she's frustrated that I'm either not feeding her fast enough or if I'm not giving her liquid fast enough. Sometimes like she'll want to like tip the glass up further, but I'm like, no, you can't do that, because if you do, it's gonna end up all over you, which is what happened at her first birthday party. I gave her the benefit of the doubt, and she ended up getting it all over her special onesie that was made especially for her birthday party and photo shoot. Here are a few photos from her 1-year photo shoot. So cute. I loved that photo shoot. It was kind of frustrating though at first where we were inside. She wasn't having sitting on that crate or sitting on the chair, and she just was getting frustrated. And then when she was off the crate and the chair, she would crawl around and she wouldn't stay. You know, this was my first cake smash photo shoot, and nothing can prepare you for how much your child could move, or any child that you photograph, for a cake smash. And like, Honesty was a mover, big time. Back to the whole tantrum thing, she'll bite her hand sometimes too. Like, she'll just go, oh, like she's really pissed. Anyway, I asked the doctor if that was like okay. He said, yeah, it's fine. Is she drawing any blood while she's biting? No. So there's no, you know, it's not breaking the skin. She shouldn't get infections. And he said it's probably just a phase. We'll revisit it as she gets older. She loves to cruise around the room, not just with her walker. We actually took the walker away just like a week or so ago. Reason being, we felt that she was using it as a crutch. Not only does she cruise around the room like a pro, and like basically wherever she is, she's now standing up on her own in the middle of the room, hands free, not touching anything, not touching us. And this was like mid-August or before. And she also, near the end of August, before she was 12 months, took 18 steps. That was her first record. And then her second record was 20 steps. So the record that she holds for the most steps has been 20 steps. Here's a clip.
Try again. Oh, wow, look at that. Come on over. Oh, 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 oh. Keep her going, keep her going.
7, 8, 9.
Oh, 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 oh.
11, 12.
Good, good.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Oh, oh, so close. Yay!
That's the reason we took the walker away, because she was using it as a crutch. And now, even though we took that away, she's using other things in the room as a crutch. The newest milestone, which is after she turned a year, is climbing. She's been trying to climb for like a month or two now, and she finally figured it out. She climbs over my leg. If Matt puts his leg like a foot or so above the ground, if not a foot and a half or so, she will lift her leg high enough that it'll go over his leg, and she like flops over him, over his legs. She has this little workbench made of plastic, but it's supposed to look like wood, and where she can like make things and such. But yeah, so there's this little cubby spot. You can crawl through it. Well, anyway, it's small, but she'll like sit in it, and then she'll like crawl through it. It's the cutest little thing. Honesty's newest thing is climbing up on stuff and through things. Right, honey? Are you gonna show us? You already got one foot up there. Careful though. Hold on to the railing if you're going to. She also crawled through there last night, which was really spectacular. She's definitely climbing. She likes to look at things, point at them, and say, "What's that?" So that's absolutely freaking sweet. So sweet. She'll point at the light above the dining room table, and I'll say, she'll be like, "What's that?" And I'll be like, "Light." And then I started to push on the light switch, push it on, push it off. And while I was doing that, saying, "On, off, on, off." And so she'd point to the light now and then point to the switch so that I would show her what on and off meant. And every time I would turn it on, she'd have this little smirk on her face, and you could see her little teeth. Oh, it's so adorable. Her nap schedule now is to either one, not take a morning nap, or not take an afternoon nap. Her morning naps are usually at 10:30. She'll sleep anywhere from 10:30 until 1:30. So most of the time it's about an hour and a half to 3 hours tops. Normally anything more than 2 hours and she won't take an afternoon nap. Sometimes when she only has an hour and a half, she still won't take an afternoon nap. What made me stop doing the afternoon nap if she has a long morning nap is that she just won't have it. She'll cry and babble for like an hour to an hour and a half, and I just couldn't do that anymore. I know my husband and I had agreed to do the cry it out, but that's just excessive, and she's obviously not tired, and she obviously doesn't want to be down there if she's going to cry that long. So that only happened maybe for a week, and I said enough is enough. I don't care what you think. I know you should never say that to your significant other, but mother's intuition is telling me that that's not good for her, and she just doesn't want to nap. If I see her rubbing her eyes and stuff, then I'll try and give her an afternoon nap. If I don't see any of those cues, I don't even bother. I just let her continue to play after she eats, and we go do whatever. And then there's some times where she won't even take the morning nap. She started crying for like half an hour to an hour. That's the longest amount I'd let her go in the morning, was an hour. And I said, you know what? If she's not going to take a morning nap, then she's going to take a 1 o'clock nap. So what I'll do is I'll go get her, we'll play, and then she'll eat lunch at noon if she doesn't go to sleep at 10:30. It's been working pretty well. Usually after she eats lunch, she's out from 1 until 3 or 4. Anywhere from an hour and a half, like I said, to 3 hours and nap time throughout the day. And she sleeps anywhere from 11 to 13 hours overnight. Honesty has been having some, I don't know if you'd call it severe, but bad anxiety, separation anxiety especially. My sister came down in August, my dad's daughter, my half-sister. Here are some photos from a photo shoot we did. And she wanted to hold her niece, and so did my brother-in-law, and Honesty just wasn't having it. She would let them hold her for like a second, and then she'd start bawling and like pulling away and trying to get to me. And like if she wouldn't go to them at all, she would cling to me so hard. And she even does that with like her grandfather, like Matt's dad, Matt's mom sometimes, my mom sometimes, my stepdad, my basically my whole family, except for my aunt and grandmother, since they live with us. She's a little more comfortable with them, but sometimes even them, she'll want to like cling to me. She's never been like this, and so it's new for sure. I can't say I hate it. I love her being very cuddly. However, at the same time, if I need to make breakfast, I'm pretty much not allowed. Well, I do, but I do anyways, but in her mind, I'm not allowed. Like, I have to be in the play yard with her in our living room, or else she's upset. Even if there's people here, my aunt, my grandmother, my mom, if I'm not in there with her or Matt's not in there with her, she's bawling. And sometimes I could be in there and then Matt will come home from work and Matt will go start supper or something, or he'll go do something in the kitchen out of the play yard. But yeah, I'm still in the play yard with her and she'll start bawling. Or vice versa. If Matt was taking care of her and I was like downstairs doing something, then I come up and then I have to go back downstairs, she starts bawling because I leave. Oh boy. And like if I go to the bathroom, I have to leave the door open, especially if Matt's not here. It's getting pretty bad. Everyone's like, oh, you gotta let her cry. She's gotta learn. You gotta walk away. And most of the time I do. I got to the point where I had like a nervous breakdown like a couple days ago. Because she all of a sudden wouldn't even drink out of the cup, and I'm freaking out because like I said, I can't adapt to change very well. And well, that's the thing about kids and toddlers and babies and whatever, they just change all the time. And it's unpredictable, and that's my issue. Like, it's not hers, it's not her fault, that's my issue, as I said. And I feel like I need to accept responsibility for that and stop raising my voice at her when things don't go my way. And yes, I'm her mom and I should be able to tell her what to do and she should listen, but she's a baby. She doesn't understand yet. I know that. Raised my voice at her again. And then everything was fine after that. I just kind of like gave up on the cup and just said, whatever, she's not thirsty. Took the cup and put it away, and then that was that. It was the same thing when she didn't want to take the bottle anymore. I just got really upset, and like I even tried to, put it in her mouth. Like I wasn't like forcefully doing it. I was really trying to put it in there, and I just wouldn't give up, and it frustrated her, and it was just it was so upsetting because they say, oh, make sure they're still getting a bottle even at 12 months, or at least, until 12 months and beyond. And oh my God, like, just, I gotta stop listening to these guidelines and just listen to how my daughter is feeling. And if she doesn't want it, she doesn't want it. We went to the doctor, he said there was nothing wrong. So, I have to embrace the change that she is, the constant changing. I mean, so am I. It's not as frequent, but we all change. I went to put her in the living room and I had to make breakfast. As a mom, we need to take care of ourselves and also make sure we're eating and doing the things we need to do to stay alive, like sleeping, eating, showering. Well, you don't need to shower to stay alive. Well, actually, you kind of do. Eventually get so dirty. Death by dirt, So I put her in the play yard. It's, a decent size. And, she used to just play and not care if anyone was in the play yard with her. And so she started bawling, like really loud, incessantly, and just kept going. And so I had this genius idea to hide behind the island because I needed to, I just needed her to quiet. I covered my ears and sat behind the island and just was so sad and upset and frustrated. And the crying stopped. I was like, oh my gosh, it's because she doesn't see me. And, she kind of just is doing her own thing. But I look around the side of the island and she's got like a hairball in her hand. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. What if she tries to eat that? So I get up and I go get it, take it out of her hand, throw it in the garbage. And wouldn't you know it, she starts bawling incessantly again. So I'm like, good job, Lisa. So I get up, grab my breakfast, then go sit at the table where I'm out of sight in the dining room. She can't see me, but if I peek over enough, I can see her. And so she's calm and such, or at least calm enough that I can finish up my breakfast. And then I came into the living room and I calmed myself down, and then things went back to normal. She just doesn't like it when I'm either not there or Matt's not there. Unless it's my aunt and grandmother, like I said, once in a while. But then after a little bit, she'll start crying then too. She's had her first nap and her first sleepover elsewhere in her playpen at my mom's. That's not entirely true. What I mean is she used to sleep on my shoulder at my mom's, or sleep in my arms. It's been a long time, and she wouldn't have it anymore. She will not sleep in my arms. She will not sleep anywhere else usually. So I was like, we really got to start getting her to try sleeping elsewhere. So we brought our playpen over to my mom's because we never use it here, maybe 3 times. And she napped for an hour and a half, 2 times. She wouldn't take an afternoon nap, but she took 2 morning naps on different days. And then we also did a sleepover where the playpen was in my mom's room, and my mom and I slept in my mom's bed. Honesty was in the playpen in the room. So everything was going fine. She actually went to bed at the normal time, only babbled and cried for the normal amount of time, which was like 20 minutes. And she was off in La La Land. She might have woke once and stayed up for a minute, fell back asleep, and then woke a second time a few minutes later. Well, not a few minutes later, but, well, yeah, I guess you could still consider it a few minutes later. But she started to have this short burst of a scream, and then out like a light she was. Like, I had went in and out of my mom's room like 4 times or 5 times throughout the night, going to bed, going to use the washroom a few times, and she didn't even wake up. Then at like 5:30 in the morning, I really needed to pee. And, well, I guess she must have been in the middle of a sleep cycle because it woke her up. And when I came back from the bathroom, she was standing in the playpen. And when she heard/saw me come in, that was it. She started to cry. And so I took her up in the bed, and it took her an hour of tossing, turning, staring at my mom, staring at me, being all cuddly and smiley and like laughing a little bit here and there. Not laughing, but like giggles, to finally go to sleep. And then she slept for like another hour or so, like hour and 20 minutes. So overall, it was a really good first attempt at sleeping somewhere else, but of course I was there, so it's not a full attempt. Next time we're going to attempt it that my mom stays here, or that if I do stay at her place, and then she's gonna go get her if she stays here. But if I stay at her place, I'm not gonna stay in the room. It's just gonna be my mom, because that's what it would be like if I wasn't there. And so I'm gonna sleep on the couch, and Honesty will sleep in the room with my mom. If she wakes up at any point, obviously I would see how it would go if my mom took her into the bed with her, but I would most likely go in there as well. And then we'll see how that goes, but so far so good. I think she's going to be just fine with napping elsewhere. I just don't know how she's going to be when I'm not there. That's the big thing, and that'll be like the 3rd or 4th sleepover where I'm not there at all. And I think the first one will have to be with my mom here, and say Matt and I go somewhere for the night or something, and my mom stays here with Honesty. I'm guessing that might not go over too well. However, we really need to start doing this so that hopefully the separation anxiety doesn't get too out of hand. I'm just going to attempt daily vlogs in October, starting on the 1st, even if it's just a minute of me talking about how my day went, and Honesty's day or Matt's day, and you know, like, and try and get it uploaded the next day, that kind of thing. So we'll see how that goes. That's my intention. I'm not promising anything. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna do vlogs, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna attempt the daily vlog thing at least for the first bit. So here's to hoping. You're doing it! Come on! Oh! Come on! Oh, good girl! Good girl! Hey, honey. This is a lemon. There, honey, a lemon. You're not eating it quite the way you do with oranges and grapefruit. Oh. Not making much of a face. Is that what you think of a lemon? 2, 3. Mama. Come see mommy. Mommy wants to see you. Now bum bum mum 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 mum. 4. 4 steps. The cat got in your way, huh? Darn paws.